Happy new month. How are you feeling? Oh my word. November is here with us. Are you excited? I am. I'm very excited. My name is Eric, and this is Eric's Stories. If you're new here, maybe your first time, thank you so much. And please thank whoever pointed you to my direction, or maybe you just happened upon this clip. I appreciate you. Eric's Stories is about two individuals, you and I. What we do every evening, weeknights, is sit around and try and make sense of difficult adult conversations or even happenings. And the hope is just that, we learn from each other's perspectives. I don't hold the view that I know everything. No, I don't. I value your mind and perspective about all of these conversations. And you are more than welcome to get back to me about your mind pertaining these or even previous conversations. I am on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. While at it, please subscribe to the channel. I just got off the phone with a friend of mine. He's a musician, and we were talking. I want to talk from my heart today, real quick. So we were on and off for back and forth, rather, for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. And we were talking about trending. You know, the way now everybody wants to trend and everybody wants to be famous. And in the initial stages of the conversation, my friend held the view that no publicity is bad publicity. All publicity, he said, was good publicity. And I was trying to debunk that thinking. I was telling him that the danger in trying to be famous and even infamous by even doing the most grotesque of things is that you need to keep doing the most grotesque of things to stay infamous. All right? I hold the view that the grace that takes you keeps you. You know, one time when I was working on radio, this lady who was my colleague doing a different show told me that, we need to start a scandal with one of the persons I was co-hosting with. Maybe pay one of these guys, what do they call these guys? Tabloids, so that they write an article about an affair we are having. So we cause traction on our show. And I just said, no. I cannot do that. Don't sign me up for that. I will not do it. And I was saying that because I believe very strongly that there is a place for work. And it's a very important place, a place for work. The principle of process has to be followed. Work must be done, and work is admirable. So that if you put in the work, you can always know that this is what I did at level 1 until I was able to ascend to level 2. And God forbid, as life does happen, should you slip back to level 1, you know exactly what made you slip and how you surmounted the first level onto the second level. So I don't ascribe to the notion that you have to do something demented so that you are known. So in any 1 million people, yes, 2 or 3 might be spotted like Justin Bieber and given a shot, but the rest of us have to do the work. We have to do the work. And so it pains my heart when we glorify stupidity and trending for trending's sake, so that you just let your ball sack hang, you take a few pictures, and now everybody talks about you the entire week. And that, for some reason, is supposed to be celebrated. I have a bit of a problem with that. And please indulge me. I value what you'd have to say about this. There's, in sales, I have a past history of sales. I worked for a company, and I was in charge of a department under sales. So there's something in sales called WIFM factor. WIFM factor. WIFM factor is an abbreviation for what's in it for me factor. And so the idea is very simple. As a salesperson, you're supposed to explain to the potential buyer of a service or a good you're selling the what's in it for him factor so that you can close the business. So if you're selling a phone, you're supposed to articulately express to the potential buyer the benefits and the features of the phone so that they can part with their hard-earned money. Does that make sense? Now, if a salesperson fails to explain the WIFM factor to a potential buyer, oftentimes the potential buyer walks away and the salesperson loses the business because they've not understood the WIFM factor. Now, even as you're given to potentially lifting up your skirt or, unbuttoning your shirt if you're a dude, to trend for the most frivolous or grotesque of reasons, maybe you might want to sit back and ask critically the whiffing factor for what it is you're doing. The whiffing factor. What's your whiffing factor? What's your whiffing factor? You know, Dr. Maya Angelou, whom I love to make references to, used to say, a wise woman, she used to say that doing right may not be expedient or immediately profitable, but it does enrich your soul. So now you have 500,000 people who've liked your page because your testicles are hanging and they've zoomed and laughed and talked about it. But then, so are you able to sleep at night? Is that your shining armor? Is that what you want to be known for? What's in need for you? Fame for the sake of fame? Just for the sake of fame? Not to inspire? Not to tell the truth? Not to nothing of that sort, just to be famous and to trend for 3 days? Really? So I hold the view that you want to choose between being famous for the sake of being famous because there's work that needs to be done. I believe strongly, even if you desire fame, that fame cannot be the goal. Fame is a result. Fame is a result of work done. Fame is a result of consistency. Fame is a result of passion, of a belief system, of a value system. Kipchoge, surely, is famous, not because he set out to be famous, but he just ran, and he ran well, and he sharpened his craft, and then he became famous. Trevor Noah, whoever is famous in your books, there is something they did consistently to be famous. So I hope we could have these conversations as young parents to children, or even older parents to our kids, about the value of work, about the value of process, the principle of process, the importance of crawling, and how you cannot bastardize crawling, and how sometimes crawling is Instagrammable. And then after you've crawled long enough, then you start walking. And how walking is an important process if you're going to fly. And again, how we cannot bastardize walking, and then running, and then eventually flying. The principles of process. It's very important. We cannot live in a society where stupid people are famous and are being celebrated for stupidity, imbecility. Surely, let's tell each other the truth. Life doesn't work out that way. There's a place for hard work, and it's very important. And hard work pays. It does pay, whether when it's done by a farmer or a dancer or a musician or a painter. Hard work pays. And those are some of the ills of social media that doesn't quite sit well with me. How there is this quickness of, good life and soft life and all that. And that's just, in the real world, just doesn't exist, The grace that takes you keeps you. Before you twerk, and bless your heart, there are phenomenal stories about people who've twerked and landed jobs on radio or even on television. But let's also talk about, hard work. It's painful and it's lonely most of the time. Yeah? What's your whiffing factor? Let's not glorify mediocrity. There's a place for work, and it's a beautiful place. And that place takes time, and we can celebrate and encourage one another that, you know what, I understand that you're crawling now, and I'll support you in your crawl. And also sometimes maybe the need to just crawl silently, because most of the time when you tell people you're crawling, they might take the other way, and that's fine. And then one day when you're flying, they'll be like, hi, c'est la vie, the human family. So I don't know, what do you feel about this trending thing? Trend. I don't know. Share with me what your thoughts are. I just thought to speak from the heart. There's a nice scripture I like 1 Thessalonians 4:11, it says thus, make it your ambition to lead a quiet life. You should mind your business and work with your hands. I know I should mind my business and I try to, but if you're a young person and maybe I was looking at the data on these Eric stories and I saw a whole bunch of 25-year-olds who also watch this stuff, there's no pressure. Life is not beautiful all the time and it's not bad all the time. So sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down. Sometimes you're on top of the mountain, sometimes you're in a valley. That's life. It's true for people in Rome, in Jamaica, in America, and in Kenya. That's life. So just hang in there, work, mind your business, be quiet, and then things will give. But you don't have to trend. You don't have to trend. You don't have to open your chest with your chest here and grind behind somebody so that you trend. Maybe you could use that energy to put into your craft, whatever your craft is. And then when the time is right, the result will come, and it might include you trending. What do you think? Good evening.